Hi, moms. Hope everyone is doing good. It's a beautiful day. It's Saturday, and I'm trying to just enjoy the weekend with my husband. He'll be taking me out, or we'll go out to get sandwiches. Nothing crazy. Probably the park. Our life is different now. No brunch for us. So I just wanted to get on here and share my story about the birth. I just gave birth about 3 weeks ago, but I wanted to share with you guys because it was such an amazing day, and also because I did a vaginal birth after 2 C-sections, which is pretty rare that doctors even allow that, but vaginal birth after your first cesarean is definitely something that you can do depending on the reason for your first C-section. And if I were you, I just wouldn't let any doctor tell you what you have to do, because that's what my doctors tried to do until I found the one, and I love my doctor. So I had my first C-section because I had HELLP syndrome, and that's basically a worse version of preeclampsia, and I was very sick, stopped dilating, slept through contractions, and then with no epidural. That's rare. So, and then I ended up having to have a C-section with anesthesia. So that was a serious situation. After that, I had another child, and I was living in Louisiana at the time. I would say that their healthcare is some of the worst I've ever experienced. So with my second one, I just didn't get a choice. My doctor said, too bad, so sad, and I just went ahead with the second C-section. With my third baby, I decided that I would be adamant about having a having a vaginal delivery if I could find someone in time. And the first doctor I visited said no. Really, their nurse did before they even saw or talked to me. So I decided I wouldn't go back. And then about 6 months into my pregnancy, maybe 5, is when I started getting prenatal care from my new doctor that I found through a midwife. So if you're looking for a more natural or low intervention birth, I would say contact some midwives, because even if you can't use them, I couldn't afford a midwife, but they told me who the doctor was that they worked with, and I just called him directly, and I was able to get in, and he agreed to do my trial or labor. And I love him. If anyone's watching, I was going to Premier OBGYN, and my doctor was Dr. Michael Hervey, and I think he's amazing. And we had a great time. So I went into labor at like 4 in the morning, and we had a couple other scares from the doctor sending us there for that reason, because he wanted to make sure I was good. And I was. So at 4 in the morning, I kind of go into labor, and I'm bouncing on my ball, and it hurt more than ever. I decided, let me count my contractions. I counted them the first round, and it was already time to go. So I text my doctor. But my husband, he's saying, just go back to sleep. It's fine. Just do your stretches and come back to bed. He was wrong. So I'm bouncing on my ball. Finally, my water breaks at home, all by myself. I was happy for that. But then he believed me. So we went to the doctor. We get there around 6, and my contractions are super painful. I had hoped that I could do it without an epidural, but by the time I got to the hospital, I was like throwing up between contractions. My contractions were pretty long. My break was pretty short. And so right after I threw up, I would be right into the next contraction. So I said, give me the epidural, please. And they checked my cervix. When I got there, I was only 1 centimeter. And then when I got the epidural, they checked me again. I was still only 1 centimeter, just like an hour or so later. So then I get the epidural, and they're like, what do you want to do to help you dilate? And I was like, let's try the balloon, because it's, the most natural, whatever. Like I said, I was trying to go low intervention if I could. So she comes back with the balloon and checks me, and I had already dilated to 5 centimeters on my own. So I said, let's hold off, because the balloon, they can only do up to 5 centimeters. And so I had already got there, and the balloon was no good anymore. So we decided we would sit and wait, see what happens. They came back 2 hours later. I was very comfortable with my epidural, so that was surprising. I thought pushing and everything hurt, but pushing is really just tiring, at least in my case. So they come back 2 hours later, and I'm fully dilated. Boom. So they say, let's push. And I'm so nervous because I have had 2 C-sections. That scar's been cut open twice. So we start pushing. My husband wanted to hide behind me, but my doctor said, grab her leg. So he's on side of me watching the whole thing. And I pushed for 15 minutes. I couldn't believe that it was over so soon, and everyone was just like, wow, you made that look too easy. And man, I felt good about myself. My husband told me when he was watching, though, I kept, pushing, and then she would go back in. My husband said he just propped his hand like this under my back, under my butt, and the next push, she came right out. Another reason I love my doctor. So they handed her to me. My husband cut the cord. She was 7 pounds, 2 ounces, 19 3/4 inches, I think, or 19.5 inches. Pretty sure it's 3/4. And they passed her to me, and we did skin to skin, and it was the most beautiful moment of my life. I'm so happy I was able to do the VBAC. And like I said, if you are interested and you've had a C-section, I would not take no for an answer, because that's what I did, and I got what I wanted. I literally told a doctor, if you don't do my vaginal birth, I will try at home. And so that's the mindset I took into it, and it all went well and beautiful. So thanks you guys for watching. I'm sure we'll talk more about the beauty of having my daughter in later videos, but just wanted to share with you guys my story. Thanks for watching, and subscribe to my channel if this has been helpful. Thank you.